Okay, yeah, so if you can find anything that's like a couple of blocks, maybe a strap, that's all I can think of that we might need today. And also, like, you don't have to have those things. So let's get started though. We'll begin with our just arm circles. So our teeny tiny circles moving forward, and we're just gonna start to move pretty slow, but also have quite a bit of engagement through the shoulders and the arms. So little circles forward and little circles backwards. Pulling your shoulders in, like pulling your shoulder blades towards each other. A little bit bigger with your circles. Circles forward, breathing slow, steady, and smooth as you go, using isometric contraction. So really feeling tone in your body, and then circles go backwards. Breathing. And then we are gonna take bigger circles. This is the third layer, so we're not all the way big yet, but we're pretty big circles. Pulling belly in towards spine, standing nice and tall, and then backwards circles. Breathing in and out of your nose if you can. Just noticing what's going on in your ribs as you're doing this. Okay, some of that stiffness potentially. And then we're relaxing and taking the biggest circles we can make. First going forward or backward, whatever. Nice big circles to your range. And circles the other way. Now see if you can traction your feet apart from each other so you can really feel your legs tone and engage as you're making your backward circles. Circles, 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 and release. And we're gonna shake into the heels. Shake, shake, shake. The whole upper body reverberating, feeling that spiraling energy moving down the arms and then fractaling out of the fingertips. Okay, so now we'll take the cactus arm on the wall. So your elbow is as high as your shoulder, and then you're gonna open up to the other side. So really getting into a shoulder stretch right off the bat here. And we'll just take it as far as it wants to go, just naturally, making sure that you're really checking in with your body this whole time to see what's good for you, doing only what is really actually good for you in any moment. Breathing slow, steady, and smooth. And one more breath here. And then we go to the other side, make that cactus shape, and then open to the other side, pressing into the wall for resistance, and breathing. Let's go 2 more breaths here. And then release, and then we'll make arms come into a Y shape. Same thing, opening up to the other side and breathing. Feeling that deep opening, like all through your armpit. Woo. And other side. Opening up away from your back hand. Breathing slow, steady, and smooth. You can kind of grip the wall with your fingertips if you want to feel a little bit more. Feel that tension all the way down into your armpit. All right, and then release. And shake it out. Shake it, shake it. Shaking is going to be important today for all of you super sore people, right? So we're going to shake out all that tension that you have been building up over the past few days with all of your journeys and all of your adventures. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake, shake. Palm tree vinyasa. So we'll interlace our fingers and then come up onto the balls of the feet. Reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling, palms face up. Reaching from your armpits, from your ribs. And then if it feels good too, you can release your chin down towards your chest. And keep on reaching, pressing your hip flexors forward, engaging your glutes. If you come down, just go right back up. Keep breathing here. And then we slowly with control lower the heels back down to the ground. Inhale, reach your palms up towards the ceiling, straightening your arms. And exhale, bend to the side, but really focusing on expanding through the upper side ribs. keeping that body nice and stacked. Inhale, come on back up and reach up to the ceiling, and exhale, bending to the other side, but really focusing on opening the upper side ribs. Inhale to come back up, and exhale, twist to the right, push your right hip forward, look to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Push your left hip forward, look to the left, and inhale back to center. Arms come down into a T shape, reaching arms wide, flip your palms over. And now we're gonna twist to the right, pushing the right hip forward and looking to the right. Feeling that deep twist in your spine. Inhale back to the front. Exhale, twist to the other side, look to the other side, and push that other hip forward. Same side, so that it's really causing a twist in your spine. Inhale back to the front. We'll reach arms up overhead and act like there's a block between your hands. And we're gonna go really slow as we forward fold here to just to horizontal. So once your torso and your arms get to horizontal, then you're gonna reach your arms forward towards the wall in front of you, reach the crown of your head forward, squeeze your legs, micro bend in your knees, and then open your arms wide to airplane. Airplane arms are horizontal. And now, super strong legs, we reach the arms back overhead and come all the way back up to standing. Plant your palms together, drag your hands down the center line of your body, hinge at your hips, forward fold, reach your hands down towards the ground. Release your head, your neck, your jaw. Gently shake your head, yes. Let your head be a pendulum, let it just hang. Release the tension. Release the holding, just let it hang as you shake it, yes. And then stop. Come to a stop slowly. And shake your head no. No means no. Shake your head no and gently, gently mean it. Breathing, slow, steady, smooth breaths. And arms hands come to either, you can have them on the ground or on your shins or above your knees. You're gonna half lift your spine and reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale to fold. 2 more just like that. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Reach the crown of your head forward. Balance your hips on top of your ankles. Exhale to fold. Arms in line with ears. Micro bend in your knees. Super strong legs. Stand all the way back up. And bring your arms down to your sides. We're gonna interlace the fingers behind the back. And then inhale to arch your back and lift your arms up behind you. Here, with knees pointing forward, forward fold, lifting your arms up, up, up and back, feeling through your shoulders as you're moving through stiffness and tightness here. Let's take another breath here. Did I hear somebody? You guys can unmute anytime you want to ask a question, just to make sure that, I didn't say that already, but I want you to be able to ask any questions that you want. On your inhale, come on back up and keep your arms really high here, because we're going to see if we can take prayer pose behind the back. That might not happen today. So you'll just be grabbing the opposite wrist, and then we'll twist to the right, jutting the right hip forward and looking to the right, feeling that twist as we look deeply to the right. And then inhale to the front, exhale, twist to the left, look to the left, jut that left hip forward. We're pressing into the right side of the, on the right side of the spine, erectors, those side of the spine muscles. Inhale back to the front. And then we exhale and forward fold. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing, super strong legs, and open the chest up, back bend. And release the arms down. And that was Palm Tree Vinyasa. We do that one like a lot, so I'll probably post a video of it so that you can learn it in the group soon. So we'll move through Vinyasa, starting in our Sun B chair pose. So have your knees point forward. They can be together, feet can be together or apart. Sink your hips, bend your knees, Lift your arms up overhead. Look up, and we're just gonna sink into this chair pose or fierce pose for the next few breaths. I think it's also called lightning bolt. It has so many names. So we're just gonna keep grounding the tailbone down, engaging through the legs, and then also, as we're sinking down, we're also thinking about lifting through the spine. So we're reaching in both the ground and the sky directions. And let's go 2 more breaths here. Keep sinking on your exhale, down, down, down. Inhale is to lengthen the spine and reach the crown of the head up. Exhale is to sink down. And on your next exhale, hinge at your hips and forward fold. Inhale, half lift your spine. And then step or float yourself back to plank position. So here we're gonna work on protraction and retraction. So I want you to push through your back body, pressing your back body up towards the ceiling and then kind of like puking cat, right? Pulling your belly in like you just got punched. So reach, reach, reach. And then we dip down and release the chest down towards the ground and the shoulder blades come together. So we're moving through these 2 different actions in the shoulders. Just notice how it feels. If you want to come down to your knees, that's totally fine. It's really good to go slow here through protraction and retraction and just feel it out. Notice if one side is more tender or sore or tight than the other side, and just kind of notice what sensations you're feeling. Really, really expanding, and then really, really kind of collapsing it on in. And we don't want to collapse through the arms, but releasing the chest down towards the ground. Okay, and now we'll move to a downward facing dog. So press evenly into your hands and into your feet. Have your shoulders be at least shoulder width apart, if not wider. And have your feet be hip width apart. And we're gonna find our maybe first down dog today. Find our best down dog of today so far. Press deeply into your hands, even into your fingertips. Press your chest back towards your thighs. And release your chin towards your chest. Lengthen through your neck. All right, reaching heels down towards the ground. One more breath. And we're gonna step the right foot forward between the hands. We're gonna come on up to a crescent lunge, and we're gonna interlace the fingers and point the palms up towards the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach. We're gonna add a little back bend here. So really opening up through your chest. And you can look up towards the sky. A little chin lift here. And one more breath. Reach, reach, reach. And arms fall down towards your sides. Drop your back heel down. We're in warrior 2. Warrior 1. Sorry. It's like there's a line going down the center of your mat. You've got one leg on one side and one leg on the other side of your line. Your front leg is bent and your back leg's at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna take and interlace the hands behind the back. Straighten out your arms and lift your chest up for a back bend here, looking up. Squeeze those arms towards each other and lift the arms up and back. And on your next exhale, we're gonna humble here, take a forward fold, reach your shoulder to the inside of your knee and lift your arms up as high as you possibly can. And feel through your shoulders as you're doing this. Notice into your stabilizing leg, your front leg. And just notice what's going on into there. On your next exhale, let's go deeper. Yeah, a little bit deeper. And stabilize through your standing legs, your nice strong legs, and then inhale to rise back up and open your chest up back little back bend here, shining your sternum up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna step to the side so that you're in a long stance. And we'll just do a little forward fold here. Turn your toes in just a little bit and fold, hinge at your hips, lifting your arms up and back. And breathe. And I know we've done a lot with this interlaced finger position. See if you can hold it for just another couple seconds while we're breathing into this forward fold, lifting the arms up and back, squeezing gluteus medius, and shining, I like to say, shining your junk up towards the sky here. That really helps to do the pelvic tilt forward, like you're dumping your cereal bowl forward. And inhale to rise up. And we'll shake it out. Shake into your heels. Shake, shake, shake. Notice into your arms. And so we're gonna just do a little bit of massage here. So grab your shoulder with one hand, grabbing opposite shoulder, and squeeze. Squeeze your deltoid. We're squeezing all the way down. Squeeze all the way down to your wrist. Squeeze your hand at your thumb, at the base of your thumb, and then all the way down your thumb. Squeeze all the way down your hand and into your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. Yeah, other side, grab your shoulder, squeeze. And we're giving ourselves love here and really like relating. We're relating with our own bodies here. Squeezing all the way down the arm. And just notice if this side is different, if it's got boo-boos, just what's going on in there. It's always good to treat your body like a baby. Squeezing your wrist and then the base of your thumb, down to the base of your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and all the way down the finger, pinky finger, and then shake it out. Okay, we'll go to the other side. We're going into our fierce pose on this side. So you can have your knees pointing forward, bend your knees, sink your hips. You can see about dragging your fingers across the ground as then you sweep your arms up, ground your tailbone down, keep sinking down as you're lifting up through your spine. We'll breathe here. One of the things I like to do is traction my feet apart so I can really feel engagement through my legs. You can try dragging your feet like you're dragging them apart from each other, so they're just like traction against the ground, and see how that affects your ability to sink down into your chair pose. You can gaze up towards your thumbs. It doesn't mean that you have to like actually crank your head back, but you can just gaze up there and keep breathing. Lengthen and sink. One more breath. And on your next exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, relax your head, your neck, your jaw, release, release, release. And inhale to half lift your spine. Exhale, back to plank. So this time we're just pointing and flexing the feet. And I want you to really grip the ground. And then I want you to think about gripping the ground with the L shape of your thumb and your index finger. Like you're trying to drag those, that L shape together. Squeezing, gripping, and pointing and flexing. Excellent. All right, nice work. Okay, and we'll exhale into downward facing dog here. Lift your hips up and back and find your perfect down dog. A little bit more settled in than maybe the first one that we did. Hands are at least shoulder width apart. Pressing into your hands, press into your fingertips, press your heels down towards the ground. Release your chin towards your chest so that you can feel the back of your neck lengthen. And breathe here. And we'll take the left leg and step it forward between the hands. Coming up, interlace the fingers, point your palms of your hands up towards the sky and sink down into your front knee. Back leg is straight. We're gonna add a little back bend here, up at the top of the spine. So shine your sternum up towards the ceiling. Imagine that you have a little Pinocchio, a little puppet like string that connects to the back of your spine between your shoulder blades and then pulls forward. Imagine that that's going on. Look up even more, sink into your front knee, and then we're going to drop that back heel down. We want the hips to point forward because this is warrior one. We'll interlace the fingers behind the back and then straighten the arms. Lift the arms up, lift your chest up. Breathing here for a moment until we exhale and fold in. Forward fold, reaching the shoulder to the inside of the knee. Lift your arms up and back and breathe here, feeling into the spaces of tightness and tension and breathing space into them. Slow, steady, smooth breaths. Feel into the space of your stabilizing leg, your front leg. Notice what's engaging the most deeply. Lift your arms up and back even more. And then stabilize and strengthen through your strong base, your legs, and lift all the way back up to standing. Open your chest. We'll turn to the side. And here we forward fold, but this time we're going to take hands to the hips. And first, let's go ahead and open through the back first, shining your chest up towards the sky, and then hinging at your hips to forward fold. Reach the crown of your head down towards the ground. Make sure your toes are turned in just a little bit. We want to see if we can get the top of the head to the ground. Now push your hips up and away with your hands, and take your shoulders away from the ground. Shorten your core. Keep reaching your forehead to the ground, noticing your spine decompress. So I want you to walk your legs out a little bit, heel toe one side out, just to see if you can reach your head to the ground. And if you're too close, you can walk your foot back in. So we're just gonna alter the wideness of the legs here to see if we can reach the head, reach the crown of the head all the way down to the ground. Reach, reach, reach. Engage your gluteus medius, those side glutes. You can traction your feet apart from each other. So press into your mat. And one more breath. On your inhale, come all the way back up to standing, super strong. And then we shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Woo. Okay, so this next piece is from this like ancient yogi text. It's really cool. It's Srivasta Ramaswamy's book on Vinyasa yoga, which is like really contorty. Is that a word? It's full of contortion shapes. So, anyways, some of the stuff is really cool. We're gonna again interlace the fingers and reach up. This time chin comes down and heels are down here. So we're just reaching arms to straight and reaching the hands up towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Push your hips forward, engage your glutes. Feel like pressure your feet out, traction them apart, and then feel the spiraling energy that moves up your legs. That really engaged feeling that moves up your legs. One more breath. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, keeping that shape all the way down. And now take your hands to wherever they fall. Release your head, your neck, your jaw. On your next inhale, you're gonna sink your hips down into a little tuck shape. And your hands slide back by your heels. And we're gonna stay in this little tucked shape for 3 breaths. spine reaches tall, chin reaches towards chest, and we're pushing deeply with the hands into the ground. And then we're taking the legs back. We can jump them or step them back into chaturanga, which is push-up position, for 3 full breaths. So this is not easy. One of the things that you can do here is you can put a block underneath your hips to help hold you up a little bit here. But just have it guide you a little bit into the position so you can really feel the engagement and really feel your whole body tighten and engage and take up the space of this really awesome engaged chaturanga. For one more breath. Excellent. And now we're coming into downward facing dog, hips high. And you're like, this is a back bend class and we haven't done any cobras. I know this. Okay, we're gonna jump through to seated. And the way that we do that from downward facing dog is we have to jump the feet up high enough and the hips up high enough to be able to get the legs under, to get them between the arms. So I encourage you to try it. You can also just cross your ankles and jump to a seated position. Also, if you have any questions about that, you can unmute and ask. So it's all about getting your hips up high so that there's plenty of space for your legs to come through your arms. Once we're here, we're gonna press the hands into the ground, and this is just to find a really super good engagement in your body. So it might be that you need to reach your fingers down for the ground and your heels of your hands don't hit the ground, and that's totally fine. We're turning the elbow pits forward, we're flexing the feet, pushing the knees down into the ground, and we're just really finding, this is called stick posture. We're really finding a really straight stick that's actually bent at 90 degrees, right? But like still, we're a stick. And we'll just take another breath here in this stick posture. So see if you can refine it to where you find even more engagement, even more alignment in the pose. For one more breath. And this is where you can use your blocks if you want to. So you could take your blocks to either side of your hips and then push yourself up, Lolasana. We're gonna keep coming back to this pose. This is a really strength building pose, and it's really good for the shoulders. So you can put one on one side, one on the other side. Your hands are pushing right next to your hips. First, you're gonna lift to your hips, and then maybe your feet will follow. Yeah? Super engaged to the core. All right, moving forward to Purvottanasana, and we're gonna take the hands and step them a whole handprint distance to the backside of the hips, and then fingers are pointing towards feet as we lift the hips up and reach the toes towards the ground. Keep lifting your hips up. You can release your head back if it feels good, and we're engaging through the thighs, lifting the hips. Engage through the thighs, lift the hips. Just keep on lifting with every breath. Keep on taking it to the next level. Grip the ground like you're grabbing the ground like it's a ball. And keep lifting your hips up. Keep going, you got this. 2 more breaths. And then on the exhale, you can set your hips back down. Again, we're moving into Lolasana. Press your hips up. Maybe your feet come up too. So let's roll out the wrists a little bit. I think we need to catch up a little bit with wrist health. Meant to do that at the beginning, but you can always add it. So we're rolling and breathing. Just a mudra. This one's really good for aerial also, because you can stop here, can reach your fingers towards your wrists, so your fingers point down towards the ground, and then they reach up towards your wrists. Yeah. And then you can stop here and pull your hands, your fingers back towards your elbows and play with the engagement and the stretch here. And then we'll just make fists and make wide. Yeah, okay. Just a few of these going down the front and around and out to the side. Go really fast with it. Okay, so moving forward, let's come back into our plank pose and we'll move through a side plank. So plank pose, shoulders on top of wrists, and we're stacking, and then we're gonna stack it on top of just one side, and then you can do what you want to with your top leg. Okay, so we're stacking shoulder on top of wrist, and then maybe we'll grab a knee or an ankle, like whatever happens, whatever feels good here for 5 breaths. Really pressing into the ground, so we want an anti-shrug here. We don't want to be shrugging the shoulder at all. Really pressing into the ground, gripping the ground with the hand. One more breath. And then step that leg behind you, and you can push your hips up towards the ceiling and lift your arm up and overhead. So this is kind of like a little half bridge with a one arm situation. And then we'll come back down, coming back through plank, and then going into plank on the other side. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips, and then you can lift your top leg up and do whatever you want to with it. Anti-shrugging your shoulder, really making sure that you're very engaged through your shoulders and your hands are gripping the ground. Breathing slow, steady, and smooth breaths, and taking it to your edge, right? Finding your challenge. One more breath, and then step that leg behind you. Push your hips up, reach up with your hand, and then up overhead. And we're finding the shoulder sensations here and just kind of tracking what's happening in the body as we go into this little one-armed wheel thing. And breathing. One more breath. And then we're coming back through side plank and into our regular plank. So we'll come to the knees into rock pose. And just take a moment to notice your breath. So we want to check in and tune in with a breath, making sure that we're breathing not only in and out of the nose, but also we want to be cultivating the heat in the breath. So just kind of take a moment and tune in. We'll just kind of activate. Some of you have learned Ujjayi breath. It's like a slight constriction in your throat, and it causes maybe a little bit of a ocean sound, right? As you move in and out. Have the length of the inhale match the length of the exhale for this kind of intense practice. Okay, we'll talk more about it later, and you can also ask me about it. Okay, so moving into another Lolasana. This is our balance pose. We've got some balancing stuff to do so that we can get really strong, so that we can bend. All right. We'll come into a half bound lotus. I want you to be able to see my legs, so I'm just going to move this. So you're going to take one leg into lotus pose. And so it's an external rotation. Take that pinky toe side of your foot into the hip crease on the other side, and you can pull your calf muscle out of the way, really externally rotate, so much so that you're reaching your knee down towards the ground. And then we're going to reach behind. This is where you could use your strap. So we're going to reach behind with the same side arm as the leg that's bent and see if we can grab that foot, maybe that toe. And here you might just like wrap a strap around your foot and then grab it. Yeah. Then we're gonna reach for the foot or the ankle. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen, keeping the spine nice and tall. Imagine that you're growing through your spine on your inhale, and then on your exhale, you're hinging at the hip to fold even more. So we'll do a couple more breaths like this, folding into the front leg, the straight leg, continuing to externally rotate through that lotus leg. And then inhale to rise up. Here we're gonna twist. So you're twisting towards your bent leg, and then you're gonna take the outside part of your hand towards your knee. Palm of the hand is open. And then we're pressing into the knee and pulling at the strap or at your foot to twist. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and exhale to twist from the base of your spine all the way up. Have yourself also looking with your eyes in the direction that you're twisting. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. And inhale back to the front. So now we can see about adding some blocks if you want to, but we're gonna lift this shape up. So it might be, so that blocks go right next to your hips, it might be that your hips are just lifting, or it might be that you wanna walk your blocks forward a little bit so that you can bend at your hips a little bit more, pouring the weight of your shoulders into the blocks right next to your thighs, and then see about lifting the whole shape up. So just try it out, see what happens, see what goes on. We wanna shorten the torso. Shorten the torso and lift the hips up. All right, and we're gonna do that whole thing on the other side. So lean behind you, lean back, take your hands behind you, and shoot your leg out of lotus. And then we'll lotus the other leg. Externally rotate that other leg, pull the calf muscle out of the way, take your pinky toe side of your foot to your opposite hip crease, and really get it in there. And then you can reach behind your back with your same side arm as the knee that's bent, and then maybe add a strap or see about grabbing your big toe. We're externally rotating so much so through that bent leg that we are reaching that knee down towards the ground. It may or may not ever touch the ground. It's okay. And then we're reaching towards the foot on the straight leg. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold. And we're just gonna keep moving like this, folding over the front leg. Every time we breathe in, feeling length through the vertebrae. Every time we fold, feeling a hinge at the hips. Wanting to keep a straight spine the whole time, even if that means you're just here, which is totally fine. That we're working with it there. If you fold in like rounded back, we're not working with the muscles of the back of the leg anymore. And that's what we're wanting to do for this particular thing. So now we inhale to rise up, and then twist towards the front knee, the bent knee. And palm open, pressure into the back of your knee. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, twisting from the base of your spine all the way up, looking in the direction that you're twisting to add your neck and then your eyes to the twist. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, twisting, pressing more deeply into your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Let's go 2 more breaths. And then inhale back to the front. Again, we're working with a balance here. So you can take your blocks to beside your hips and see about lifting your hips by pressing into the blocks, or you can take the blocks further forward to the sides of your thigh and see about lifting both your hips and your foot. The whole situation's lifted. Gripping the blocks with your hands. All right, so let's do a little forward fold here. Take a deep breath inside out of your mouth. Awesome. Inhale to rise back up. All right, and we're gonna cross one leg, or bend one leg and then cross the other leg on the top. And so we'll take the elbow to one side of the knee, or hug the knee, whichever thing happens easier. And then we're twisting in the direction of the top knee. And you can reach behind your back and see about grabbing your pants, right? Grab your pants at the hip line, or even at your thigh, and then use that to pull yourself deeper into your twist. So inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Keep breathing like this for one more breath. And we're just feeling the difference. It's a new way of twisting that's different from the last way that we did. Reach your hands behind your back, and we're switching across the bottom leg now. And then take the other leg to the top, taking some part of your body to cross, and maybe grab your upper knee to twist, or put your elbow on the other side of your knee to twist, and then reach behind your back and grab your pants, or grab your pants or your thigh maybe, and inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist, pressing your elbow into your knee. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist, just feeling into the distinction between the two twists that we've just done. Couple more breaths like this. How does this feel different? And inhale to come back to the front. Now, we're moving to the ground, tummy time. Now we finally do our first cobra. So hands on the ground right next to your ribs, forehead's on the ground. We're gonna bend through the neck first, and then take the bend all the way down the back. Squeeze your legs, push your thighs down into the ground, squeeze your glutes. Inhale, bend and lift to a cobra with bent arms. Exhale, lower it back down. Inhale, lift. See if you can hover your hands this time. Exhale, lower back down. 3 more like this, bending at your neck first, and then squeezing your core so much that maybe you can hover your hands at the top. Bending that neck first is the really key part here. It's kind of like you're scooping, and it's a very strange thing because usually we're bending our whole backs as we're going into cobra, but now we're moving like an actual cobra. Okay, so coming into full cobra, straighten up your arms, and we're gonna turn the shoulder heads back, lift the sternum up, take that bend all the way through the spine, press your thighs down, squeeze your glutes, and open through your whole front body. And you can release your chest down, reach your hands back, grab your ankles. And we're gonna push into one ankle and then the other. This is a rowboat. This is a rowbow because it's a bow pose, but we're rowing. So I'm sorry, I just made that up and I'm really amusing myself with it. So we're pushing one ankle into hand and then other ankle into hand. Now both ankles push into your hands and feel through your shoulders. Notice what's occurring all the way through your shoulders. Depress your shoulders down. See how that feels. Keep your knees pretty close to each other, maybe hip distance apart, not too wide. Now play with shrugging and anti-shrugging your shoulders as you press your ankles into your hands. Keep breathing, slow, steady, and smooth. Keep pushing. I know this is a lot. Okay, we're gonna release and we're gonna push into a child's pose. Knees together, release the forehead down to the ground. Relax into your child's pose for a full breath at least. Let's go one more. Release, release, release. Release is the name of the game here. And now we come back up. We're coming into standing on the knees. So keep your knees pretty close together. You can take your block and squeeze it between your thighs to make sure that you're doing that. And then we're gonna lengthen through the spine, reaching the crown of the head up, up, up. And then bend, starting at the hips, moving all the way up the back. Reach your hands back. You can see about just pushing your hands into your hips for this back bend, or you can see about having your blocks by your sides and taking your hands to your blocks, or you can see about reaching your hands towards your ankles. If that feels really easy and good, then you'll start to walk your hands towards your knees and reach the crown of your head down towards the ground. So we're lowering then. I'm gonna slide my fingers to the front side of my knees and reach my head down towards the ground, engaging my thighs. I'm gonna come back up to standing, or on my knees. So coming back to standing up on your knees, and then just another child's pose for good measure. Just one breath, just one quick breath in child's pose. We'll take all right, come on up to all fours. You can take a block or a pillow and put it right in front of you, just in case. Okay, this is crow pose. We're gonna come into down dog, take your hips up high. Now walk your feet towards your wrists, bend your knees, bend your elbows back towards your shins, and then come up onto the balls of your feet. Reach the knees into the armpits, and then shift your weight forward. Look way out in front of you. This drishti, looking way out in front of you, is really gonna help you stay stabilized and balanced. And then shift your weight over top of your hands so that you can lift your feet up, maybe cross at your ankles or your feet, and breathe. Balancing here on the triceps. Grabbing the ground, looking up, and breathing. And then coming back. So we'll try this one more time, and we'll shoot back. So I'm going to show you that. So you're going to be up in your crow, and then you're going to lift your hips as high as they can go, and shoot your legs back into chaturanga. So just see about it, see what happens. Take some time in crow pose to really get yourself stabilized in there, and then just see about what happens when you shoot it back. Awesome, awesome. We're coming to seated as soon as that feels complete. And we've done a lot of twisting today, which is really important for opening up all of these parts that we need to be loose in order to access the upper back and the shoulders. So we're gonna do one more. I'm gonna have you bend your knee to the side. So it's like hero pose, you know, like where your ankles are off to the side. And then we come into half lotus. So this is a very strange position. I wish you could see me better, but I'm gonna try to tip myself up so that you can see me better. So I'm like this. I've got my leg out to the side, and then I've got my other leg in a half lotus. So externally rotate through that half lotus leg, and then, so if you're like sitting on a yoga mat, you want your quad, your thigh to be in line with the side of the mat. So it's really pointing, your knee is pointing straight forward. And then having the other, the lotus leg really kind of opening through that hip. And you can use your strap again to reach behind your back and grab that big toe. So we just like leveled up. We just took it to the next level with our lotus here. And so you can use that strap if you wish. We're gonna take the opposite hand and reach across to the lotus knee, palm open. So we'll twist starting from the base and moving all the way up the spine, and then adding the eyes at the very top. Looking deeply in the direction that you're twisting with your eyes. Lean yourself forward so that you're reaching your lotus leg knee towards the ground. And then pull with your strap or with your hand so that you're bending your arm and really forcing a deeper twist. Press your hand into your knee and notice the depth of this twist. Notice where it's twisting you. Notice what part of your spine feels the most active. And then inhale and just look forward with your head. Look all the way forward and look in the other direction. You've still got your hand on the back of your knee. And release. And we'll take the blocks. We'll do our little Lolasana, lifting hips, maybe feet also. Take the other leg to your side. Take the other leg into half lotus pose, externally rotating, get your calf muscle out of it.
Be a crazy boy.
And then you can wrap your strap around your foot. Or see about taking that same side hand, reaching it behind your back and gripping on your big toe. Or twisting towards the lotus leg side, palm open on the back side of your knee. Twisting all the way up your spine and then adding your neck and your eyes. Looking deeply in the direction that you're twisting and leaning forward into your lotus knee. So your other hip will come up off the ground. Your other sitting bone will just kind of lift and levitate as you lean into towards your lotus knee. Breathe and feel into the space where you feel this opening or any kind of sensation in your spine here. Keep pressing into that knee and keep pulling with your strap or with your hand to cause you to twist deeply. And then inhale, come back to center. Again with our Lolasana. Lifting the hips and the feet up off of the ground. All right, and now we're gonna jump around the arms. So we're gonna come into downward facing dog, and then we're gonna jump the legs around the arms. This is really weird. And then we're gonna sit with the hamstrings or the backs of the thighs on to the elbows. And we're gonna see about lifting the legs up. Lift your chest like you're doing a cobra. That's a really weird sensation. Lifting your chest while you're in an like expansive back position. So both of those things are happening at the same time. So just try this out. And also just like unmute and ask any questions that you have. And I'm gonna come up and just see how you guys are doing. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. We're good?
I'm gonna definitely see if I can't buy that recording from you.
Nice. You like this one? Very cool.
I missed a lot of this one. I'd like to redo it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you can do that for sure. Okay. All right, we're on to the next part, yeah? We're good? Okay. Okay, so the next piece, after we try to jump, we're jumping feet around the hands, and then we're sitting onto the hamstrings. And then we've lifted the legs, but instead of doing that, we're gonna cross the ankles and see about this. So now we're balancing on the hands, crossing the ankles. And this is, again, cobra. So the weirdest thing here, in this back expansive balancing position with the shoulders engaged deeply, we're gonna open the chest. Just see about it. So the taking it to the next level would be leaning forward and placing the top of the head on the ground and then lifting hips up and then pulling feet up off the ground. And then also being able to lift up from there into Titibhasana. So just trying it out, seeing what happens, kind of checking in with like How are my wrists? How are my shoulders? What goes on for this? Yeah.
Are your arms bent?
My arms are bent and my elbows are pushing into my thighs, into the backs of into my hamstrings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like they're like staking their claim and like holding the whole situation up, like with their depth of like digging into my hamstrings. Yeah, so it's like, it's really like a hamstring balance. Wrists.
I felt like I was like constantly rolling back. I'm so fat that I can't.
It's a balancing act. Like you have to, you know, then you're putting more weight forward, right? So like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna if you're tipping forward, then you just if you're tipping back, you try to tip forward more. If you're tipping forward, you try to tip back more. That was awesome, Rachel. Nice work. All right, so we'll start to cool down. And use this opportunity because we've just done a lot of strengthening, and now we're going to use this opportunity for even more opening. Okay, so this one's called the gate latch pose. We're going to take the leg off to the side like we did before. It's the hero pose, so it's bent off to the side. And then the other leg comes into an L shape. So the upper thigh and the leg create an L. And then we're gonna turn towards the bent leg and then lean back. Lean your back on your straight leg. And then you're gonna reach your arms up overhead and grab your ankle. So I'm gonna slide my fingers under my ankle with my arm that's closer to the ground, and then I'm gonna reach my arm up overhead and see if I can grab, and you can always use your strap for this, any amount. And you can always just kind of have your arms wide and heavy so that you can really feel more depth of opening. And then if you don't feel like you're all the way in it, feel free to kind of claw yourself and climb yourself forward so that you can get in front of that leg. So we're kind of like doing our best to get our backs onto the straight leg. And it might just be that, you know, you're just thinking about it, but the chest also wants to be really turned up towards the ceiling. And we're breathing, slow, steady, and smooth. One more breath. And inhale to rise up. Let's add our little lift just to kind of feel. So if you just kind of feel into your body here and just notice how off it feels and different. And then, so we'll just press into both sides, do our little lift, our Lolasana. And then we'll go to the other side. So straighten out your other leg. Take your other leg off to the side. We're making a 90-degree angle here with the legs. Turn your body towards your bent leg side. And then lean your back onto your straight leg. Take your shoulder forward so that you can really get your chest to turn up towards the ceiling. Arms can reach overhead or arms wide, whatever feels really good. See if you can do the best that you can, whatever you can do to refine and to open more. So dropping that upper arm down off to the side that you're opening towards can really help. Taking that same arm up and overhead and then opening the elbow wide can really help with that. We want to be chest opening and breathing and refining with every breath. So by refining, I mean like kind of like toning through your legs, or pulling on something that forces the twist to go deeper, or walking your shoulder out further away from your knee so that you can turn your back towards your straight leg. All right, and one more breath. And with strong legs, lift all the way up. And we'll go ahead and reset. So take your blocks to your sides. Press into your blocks, Lolasana, a little lift there. And one more. We'll take crossed knees. So we're starting from down dog. We take one leg down, and then the other leg sucks in behind. So you're gonna like really push it in like deeply behind the first leg. And then we're gonna sit back on our hips. And if you've been in class with me before, you have an advantage here. But if you haven't, this is really weird and awkward. So that's normal. Then we're gonna take the hands to the knee and open through the chest. Chin down towards chest. And feel what that's opening up through your collarbones. Straightening out arms to really feel the tension here. We're squeezing the legs in towards each other, muscles in towards bones. And then we reach arms up, and we're gonna bend the same side arm as the leg that's on top and pull that elbow down. And if you want to, you can reach behind your back and clasp. And if that feels good, then look up and see about causing the stretch to go even deeper by pressing your head into your hand or into your elbow. Pull your belly in. Super strong everything here. I know, cool down shouldn't be so hot, but it is. And release, unwind, and we'll jump to uncross. Now place the other knee down on the ground. Slide the leg back behind so that we're really sucked in. We want to have legs, ankles pulling in towards each other, and then we're sitting on the top of the legs. And you can reach your hands for your knee. Lengthen through your collarbone, so pull your shoulders back and open your chest up. Keep your arms straightening. Reach your chest down for your chin down for your chest. And feel through the front of your shoulders here and what's happening, what stretch is occurring. And just, this is different. For me, this is different than any other stretch that I know of. Breathing, slow, steady, and smooth. And then reaching your same side arm up and overhead. Grab your elbow, pull down on it. You can reach behind your back and see about clasping if that's available. Looking up and pressuring your head into your arm or into your elbow. Pulling belly button in towards spine. Squeezing legs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything in. This is a little seal, a little mudra. And breathe. It's a whole body mudra, actually. Looking up. And release. Unwind, unravel. And then jumping back to your knees, we'll go into our child's pose. For one last child's pose, release your forehead down towards the ground. And then take your hands and line your sides, like have them lay down by your hips, palms open. And lay onto your back. Little crunches towards your toes. Feel your core engage. Let's go. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself some mad love for all of the awesomeness that you pulled out today and for showing up for yourself to classes that start so late at night. Give yourself some love. We're gonna rock and roll up and down the spine. And then come to seated. And I thank you for sharing Wolfpack with me today. I encourage you to ask any questions and to post about what you've learned in the group. Like take pictures and like post about it and like get people to be interactive, because that's how we can really reach our goals, right? If we can get other people like excited and involved, and if we can give other people some excitement and help them get involved, give them some feedback, like whatever, then it's just gonna help us like with reaching our own goals. So I encourage you to do that. That's a resource that's for you, and I'll like be there to engage as well. And yeah, thank you for coming. If you want to unmute and ask any questions, you totally can.